for tuning in to 8-Track Mind with Habaka. And in this episode, I am going to be interviewing none other than Deborah Nervig Levin. She is a really wonderful person. She has so much to offer, and I wanted to share her with you. Deborah dances. She also sings. She's a mom, and I thought it would be perfect, being that this is Mother's Day weekend, and she is also a wife, and she's very involved in her community. So, Deborah, welcome to 8-Track Mind.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you agreed to be on the program. So we are going to get this started, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you come from, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I come from Colorado.
Okay.
And my mother's family was Lebanese, and even though I have that tie, genetically programmed for belly dancing.
Exactly.
That's not where it came from for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I find that amazing. I find that amazing, and you see how the genetics work.
Yeah.
She wasn't even raised, but it was there in her DNA.
Yeah.
And she ends up being a professional belly dancer.
Yeah, well, one of the things that drew me to that was that I did not grow up dancing at all.
Incredible.
No ballet, no, tap or jazz or anything like that. Until I started doing color guard with a marching band, and then that led to independent color guards and drum corps. And one thing that I loved, because I'm born to move. I love the movement, but I loved the communal aspect of it.
Oh, wow.
And really having family, creative family. So.
Okay, I can understand that. So, the background actually of belly dancing, what is the, I guess the word I'm looking for is the culture.
Right.
Of belly dancing. Is that what you're saying? Is that it's that family culture of belly dancing that you get that togetherness, that oneness with the women?
Yes,
okay.
I definitely do. And of course with my musicians.
Yes.
And my husband.
Okay.
Who's my own drummer. My own person.
How great is that? You can't get, it just can't get any better. That is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. And he's also very talented, which I did tell Deborah I will have to also add him into the 8-Track Mind episode one of these days. So if he agrees, of course, then I am going to be looking forward to doing that interview with him as well.
Yeah, this is one of his paintings.
Can you imagine? She is just, blessed from all ends. All ends. It's like, if you want to know the epitome of creativity and art, she is living actually that right there. The creativity of the art, the light, the oneness, the togetherness, family, movement.
So this goes back to the communal creativity, is that in other cultures, other than our very our Western culture, where things are very specific. Like if you're a singer, people expect that you're trained, you've gone to school, you have some sort of professional way of doing that as a business. Whereas in other cultures, pre-industrial cultures and cultures that are not necessarily Western, art was part of life. And there might not even be a word for art because it's just part of how you get things done.
Mm.
It's part of what happens when somebody gets married
Mm-hmm.
or when the harvest comes in.
Mm.
That people sing and dance and do certain ceremonies or rituals, and that's just part of doing life.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
not.
that, Deborah.
Yeah, it's
I
not
like
like a
that.
separate business.
Mm-hmm. That is very interesting. So, my one of the questions that I did have for that exactly is I was wanting to know, is this type of belly dancing is it a lifestyle? Is it that culture? Is it a lifestyle? And from what you were saying, it is.
Yeah.
It is, because you said it's a way of life. It's just what you do. It's not something that you're trained or
And then you put
you're-
on the show
and
for
you put on
money,
this
and
exactly.
then
You put a
it's-
show,
yeah.
and so that makes that very, very different. And so
Well, there's lots of layers to
that's
that.
what I
of
wanted
course.
to. That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
I
there's-
wanted to delve into a little bit of that. Like,
There's-
what are the different types of belly dancing?
Right. So there's lots of layers because of course there's paid
Right.
professionals.
Exactly.
And in the Middle East there's paid professionals.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was intrigued with more than a stage show
Mm-hmm.
or a restaurant show, something like that, was the aspect that people can just be like this with each other. Like we can get together and spend our free time making music and dancing and being creative and enjoying our free time like that rather than consuming a movie, consuming art that other people do, that we get together and we co-create beauty and art, and we get to be it, to do it, and to swim in the beauty of what one another creates.
And
And
that
so-
basically, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
the really art is. As you said, it's like what intrigued you and what drew you to that was the togetherness, the oneness, the freeness, also being free of being able to create. And when you do that, all these colors
Yeah.
come out, and you can really see that in her dancing.
Hi, this is Deborah Nervig Levin, and you are tuned in to 8-Track Mind with Habaka.
So I wanted you to expound on the color
The colors
of
Yeah.
dancing, because you really see that in Deborah's form of dancing, and I have you expound on that.
And more than just me,
Yes.
I feel like each dancer who comes
Yes.
to me is their own gem. They're their own little creation of beauty.
Yes.
And that I love teaching dance in such a way that it brings that out. So rather than having a very, very strict technique, we do technique, but it's always, there's people's own personal nuances.
Exactly.
And because we do a group improvisational style,
Mm-hmm.
everyone gets to lead in their particular way of leading, and we all try to put that on as we
Yes.
follow them.
And you actually see that. You do see
Yeah.
that. And I believe also that's why I enjoyed it so much. When the very first time I saw you dancing with the group, and I was like you said, every person had their own personality,
Yeah.
their own style, even though they're together as one, but you could see their personalities.
Yeah, and
Everyone's personalities, yeah. And I thought that was really amazing. And when I teach singing, That's exactly how I feel as well. I want the person to be free,
Yeah.
to be themselves, and that's the part that I want to pull out of that person, and that's the part I want to shine, to let them feel free to let go.
Yes.
And that they don't have to be in a box, and yes, like you said, we give the technique, but we give the technique where they also don't have to feel so confined.
Right, it's not a cookie cutter process.
It's not a cookie cutter process.
This is the technique so we can work together, so you have good skills.
Exactly.
And then we go from there.
Exactly, because when you are allowing that person to be themselves, and then combine the technique, that's the beauty.
Yeah, and some belly dancers who have a a stage show or a restaurant gig, for many reasons they'll choose a different name, and some just choose the name because they want to step into that persona. Sometimes it's for privacy or publicity, both ends of the same coin and sides of the same coin, and otherwise maybe they want to step into that, but I've always just felt like I dance to be more myself. I dance to find Deborah.
Yes.
And I'm constantly, peeling away layers and getting more and more myself, rather than wanting to be someone else. And that's part of the colors as well.
Isn't that
the
wonderful?
Beautiful flowers that everybody is.
That's right. That is so, so true. Now, how do your children take to your dancing? I mean, do they embrace it, or do they love watching mommy dance? Or
okay, well, when my son, of course, I danced with him. In
my mother danced with me as well.
Nice,
yes,
nice. And he's 13 now, and he's just grown up in this environment.
Wow.
So that's just what his parents do. They dance and they make music, and he just goes with it. I don't know.
It's natural for him.
Yeah, it's natural for him. He's a piano player.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so, but he doesn't, I don't know, it's just what we do. It's just the water.
It's part of a life. It's part of life. It's part of, as she said earlier, it's part of a way of living.
Right, and because I focus on it as part of living and part of having community and making creative communal events, that is a lot different than like if I were to, be more of a cabaret style dancer,
right.
where I might not want people to know my real name, or I might have this other persona as like, a stage persona.
Right.
Because we do community things, I can just do this, and even though sometimes people go, "Oh, you belly dancer," they have that idea of
exactly. This is what I was saying.
Spangly bra top. I tend to be more tribally and community based.
Okay, so now in conjunction to that, is it a type of religion?
Oh, that's wow.
I always surprise my guests.
Oh, yeah. It is not a type of religion, but I feel that it goes incredibly well with a couple of things, like a mindfulness practice. I do Buddhist mindfulness meditation, and as well as it dovetails with things like Sufism. How I approach it, and my husband, because we're reaching those transpersonal states of ecstasy and the divine. It feels like the divine, but it's not for us a particularly like religious, as in, you know, conventional religion.
Exactly.
Like Christian, Islam,
Exactly.
Hindu, Buddhist.
Exactly.
But we have that in common with them because we dance and we make music to find that blissful state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was a very good response. I really enjoyed that because, like you said, it's not per se a religion, but it coincides in your lifestyle, and it is light. What you are naturally doing.
Yeah, it brings joy.
It brings joy. You get lost in the music, in the dance, and the spirit comes out.
Yes.
So it becomes spiritual.
And I can say this 100% of the time. People come to my class, they're feeling whatever they're feeling. They're feeling anxious, crunchy, worn down from work or family life. You come in, you dance, and you feel good. Like, that's one of the rare things I can say pretty much it's a 100% guarantee.
Yes, and I can attest to that. And you know why? Because I have also participated in Deborah's classes, and it is absolutely a fantastic experience. And I am looking forward to growing with Deborah in that community of learning that style of dancing, and it's just fantastic. I love it. Now the clothing, all of that together is a certain type of clothing.
Yeah. Now, like I had said before, we're not cabaret or oriental style dancers where we wear the typical bedla, which is the spangly, shiny bra top and a low skirt with spangly stuff, and you know, it's very exposing.
Very exposing.
Yeah, and especially as I get older, I'm like,
you look like a teenager.
No, I'm definitely moving in another direction with costuming, I've always felt like if I can't really dance in it for hours and sweat and express myself, I don't want to feel confined by a costume, and nor do I want people to feel uncomfortable that they're gonna have to put that on. And I know sometimes it's really exciting. Like sometimes you're like, yay, I want to buy that costume. I want to make it. I want to put it on. But for me, it's much more earthy, and we always accent our hips. We often wear skirts, or I have these really lovely, based on Fat Chance Belly Dance pantaloons, these voluminous hair and pants.
Okay.
And then usually maybe a half top of some kind, might have flowy sleeves.
And during the segment, you'll also be able to see some of those different styles that Deborah wears for dancing. And it's just like any other type of dancing, because the costumes come in where when you are dancing, those costumes are made in a particular way to make you feel comfortable, where they stretch with you and move with you. So I could see how you would say, as if you can dance in it for a long period of time and sweat and not feel, tight and like, okay, oh my God, this is gonna tear or rip, then yes, then this costume is good. And so belly dancing is not what most people think it is. It's also very spiritual. That's what I found. And it brings people together. And the women, when I look at you women dancing, which brings me to the question, I don't want to forget this question, because now you are a part of a dance troupe. And what is the name of the dance troupe?
We are the New World Rhythmatism dancers. And New World Rhythmatism is a method that my husband and I came up with so that we could all improvise, not only just the dance, but the music. So we all know a similar vocabulary of music and movement, and then we can trade off who's leading, who's following, and we create in the flow. And so we can do this for 2 hours at least at a stretch.
Okay.
And it's really amazing.
It is. It's really amazing. And it's amazing to watch. And it actually, when you are watching it, you want to participate.
Yeah.
Deep down inside afterwards, you get this little churning of, I want to do that too, or I want to get up and dance too.
Yeah, and we play out. The dancers typically have 2 gigs every month, and one we play out. So my musicians play, and they improvise for 2 hours, and I facilitate an open dance floor, and where I try to get people to come up and they can dance. They can try to follow me, do my thing, or they are so welcome to just dance their own dance. Sometimes we have people come up and break dance. But it's the whole
that's the freedom.
floor.
That's the freedom that you were talking about.
But exactly. So that's what we're cultivating there. And then we have a stage show that we do at the Wonderground. Which is really like a magic cabaret show that Jeff McBride and Abby McBride facilitate every month. And so we'll do more traditional sets.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but you will also see a snippet of Deborah with the World Rhythmic.
You can say NWR.
NWR. Yeah, I like that. Yes, NWR dancers, and so you'll get to see exactly how they are in motion, how they move, and we'll also give you the address. You have a web address, and so Deborah will also give you the web address later on in the segment. And I want to say, now, how long have you been with the group?
Well, we started it, probably about 12 years ago.
Wow, 12 years ago. And how did you all meet?
Well, Joshua and I initially met in Colorado, and I heard his drumming, and I was belly dancing at that time, and I thought, oh my gosh, he speaks the language of heaven through his drum. So after a while, we hooked up, and we started doing community drum and dance kinds of things there. And then we got involved with the Vegas Vortex and McBride's here, and we thought, okay, we'll move down to Las Vegas, and then we did a more open community jam 3 times a month, and that kind of had its life course, and we thought we want to do something that's more skilled, where the people are more dedicated, and how can we come up with a way where people can really participate in it, where it's not just us leading all the time. So American Tribal Style Dance is Carolina Enriqueo developed this style so they could group improv, lead and follow at various performances, and just for fun, because it's fun. So I took her vocabulary and built a lot of my own vocabulary on top of that for the dance vocabulary. So just so you know, we're talking belly dance. There's many different kinds.
Exactly. And what's the name of your type of that belly dancing?
Well, we're doing a fusion. But we use, I love Oriental style dance and the more traditional folkloric moves and whatnot. So I always keep those, and I always keep the essence of just the musician to dancer connection and improvisation. So I love keeping that.
And it's very sexy. If I might add. it's very sexy. It's a very sexy, sensual movement. But at the same time, for me, my perception of it being sensual and sexy is just exuding love.
Yeah, it's self-expression.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I get from it. You know, it's the love just bubbling over. You know, it's just bubbling over, and you see it with the grace of the movements, and it's just wonderful. But it is very sexy. I thought I'd just throw that little tidbit in.
Yeah.
So, Deborah, give everyone the website address.
Okay. If you check out at NWR Events, you will find what we're up to these days.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That is a very good way to keep in contact with Deborah and to see what they are up to and what's going on and what they have to offer you. Also, right here, if you're in Las Vegas and you want to participate, go where you can find them, and you can participate and learn something new and join a new community.
Absolutely.
I think it's great. And so I think that was really all of my questions. I am so really happy that Deborah agreed to do this interview. Now, I wanted to ask her before, how did you manage to juggle everything? Being a mom, because Mother's Day is coming, being a mother, a wife, and, teacher, dancer. I mean, how do you find the schedule to coincide and get everything so pinpointed?
Habaka, one thing that because I am not a naturally organized person.
Neither am I. So you're not alone.
Thank you. So having all of the organization fall on me as being, manager of my studio and troop leader and mother and wife and all of those various jobs, the latest thing I came up with is I have a 20-minute schedule.
Okay.
I have an app, the tracker app on my phone, and because I will tend to say, well, I need to do X, Y, or Z every day. And then as every day comes, my son ends up sick, something's going on, that doesn't happen, then I'm frustrated with myself. So what I realized is on my tracker app, I have dance, singing, whatever it is, and then there's the regular things, cooking, cleaning, whatever. But the things that tend to get pushed to the side that are actually really important for my heart and my art,
that's it.
They're on my 20 minutes. And so I just go, I just have to do 20 minutes of that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now. I'm feeling frustrated with something. I'm going to go sing for 20 minutes. And then I get my time in.
Right.
It's practice, it's healing.
Yes, it's healing.
And it usually clears my mind. And then I can go and deal with whatever it was, the bills or...
Yes.
Yeah.
That was very, very good, Deborah. Yeah. You see, we learn something new every single day. Now, I am going to have to incorporate that track app into my telephone as well. Because even though I don't have any children or anything like that, but I do get bogged down with the day-to-day activities that I have to do for my business. And I say, like you might say, I have to do this, this, and this. And then my telephone rings and someone needs me to look at a website, or, I'm talking to someone in Italy and trying to organize something, and then I forget and my day is done. And so
you haven't done the things that nourish
to nourish the heart. And so that is really good, Deborah. I love that. The tracker app. Make sure you get the tracker app. You have heard it here on 8-Track Mind with Habaka. So I always end my show with the one question. I want to know a Deborah Nervig Levin nugget that you would share with the world, a piece of advice, what to do, what the tracker app is good, and you said it's good for your heart. So anyone who is wanting to maybe venture into belly dancing, what piece of advice would you give to them?
Okay, my piece of advice is that it's your birthright to be artistic, to create. That is inborn in every human. And so there's not, there shouldn't be a judgment on it. So if you are not being creative and you want to explore that, find a way to do it and make it part of your everyday life. That you shouldn't feel like, oh, I can't sing because my voice isn't good enough, or I can't dance because I'm not young enough, or I can't X, Y, or Z. No, if you feel the urge to do something, and if you listen hard enough, I think you will. Find a way to do it. Find, there's lots of places to do it. We provide that. But if you can't find an outside place to do it, just start doing it on your own. Whether it's drawing, singing, dancing, things like that, and do it for 20 minutes a day.
That
you will feel good.
Wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. You have heard it here at 8-Track Mind with Habaka, and you have heard it from Deborah. It's your birthright. Remember that, to be artistic. So just go and do it. 20 minutes a day. And it's so funny that you said that, because teaching voice, I always tell them, don't worry about studying so hard. 10 minutes a day is all you need. But make sure you commit to the 10 minutes. And it won't seem like a burden. So she has given the nugget, 20 minutes, and it's your birthright to be artistic. Thank you for joining us today. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Happy Mother's Day to you, Deborah.
Thank you.
And thank you once again for joining me here at 8-Track Mind with Habaka. We will see you the next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I used to be